to people who can't stand their in-laws, but please welcome now my guest who is the author of Great Relationships Are About More Than Just Blind Man's Bluff. Please welcome Sandra Shelton to the show. And also welcome our staff psychologist, Dr. Karen Derby, to the show. And I'll say that we've done that because I think there's two different issues going on here on the show. And Sandra, maybe I'll let you start. Why don't you tell us what's going on over here with Carol and Clan? I'll say it that way.
The group. Okay.
The group.
It's a relationship issue. And let me just say this. It's a simple, we all start the same way. We have God-given talents and strengths, and we have them, and we have roles that we put them in. The first role we have is baby. But as we grow, we get other roles. Now, where those roles fall in priority in time is, I think, what we're hearing here. And I'm going to start with you, Carol, if that's all right. You've spent a lot of time doing some great stuff. I mean, these kids show you reared your children. They made it. They're here. I mean, you did some right things, okay? However, your teaching role is over, okay? That ended because another stage has come up, not just for them, but for you. Your gifts and talents weren't just to raise children. But by continuing to try to do that, that's where the conflict is coming from. The conflict is we're confused about our roles now. Wait a minute, did my role go away? Montel asked you several times, why? You know, why do you do this? And you said, it's just the way I am. Could I suggest maybe it's just fear? Because maybe you can't see where those gifts and talents could be used someplace else. And the truth is, Carol, you've got them. It's obvious. You're strong. You can see things. You can stick to your guns. That's good stuff. But you need to use it in the right role that you're in now, not in a role that's no longer appropriate.
Well, you know, and I'll tell you something. And if you were, I mean, I have a feeling part of this has to do with the fact that you were divorced. And you went through 17 years of divorce.
And that's hard.
And whether you want your kids to be happy or you don't want them to be happy, you want them to be like yourself, you got to remember it's their lives now.
I don't want them to be like me.
Well, if you don't, you're going to end up making them like you because you're the one who's putting a wedge in both relationships.
Can I say something?
Yes.
She's had a man that she was engaged to, and the whole time she was engaged to this man, she'd tell him, I love, I'm not going to say my dad's name at his request, but she'd say, I love so-and-so until the day I die. And she's telling this man that she's engaged to.
Let me suggest that you're not really saying love. You're saying I own. You're saying I possess. It's two different things. Love lets go. Love doesn't have to like every decision. But when you have to own someone, another person, see, that's the conflict. You can't do that. And the more you try to do it, you push people away when really, Carol, you want them to come to you.
Nobody would accept my kids.
Well, you know what? You know what? But you know
I
what?
mean, no man I was with.
But guess what? Now you have people who accept your kids. They really want to accept you. Because just like, well, man, he said, times that you were like Dr. Jekyll and not Miss Hyde. So just act like Miss Jekyll most of the time and everybody will get along.
Turned out as good as they are.
I got to take a little break. We'll be back in just a second. We're almost out of time. So, Sandra, you had something else you wanted to say to the kids, right?
Yeah, to the kids. You know, you have roles now, too. And I'm going to say to you, John, that maybe it's a little exciting to have two women fight over you, but I want to know why you still have that room at Mama's. I mean, your role is now your wife first, your parenting together. Your relationship first, your parenting together. And I've seen some growth here in Bobby from some of the things you said earlier. I think you're seeing that. Carol, they want to love you. Understand, they were willing to come here because they really want harmony. But you can't create harmony if you won't participate. So it's just a choice. It's always just a choice. It's a choice of the heart, not who to own.
But you know what, bottom line is, your ex-husband's no longer with you and not participating because he doesn't want to be involved in whatever this nasty is, whatever that may be.
He never did.
Well, but if you continue to do this now, what's going to happen?
When my kids was little, he never came around.
But guess what? What's going to happen when they stop coming around because they're tired of hearing you yell at their spouse and call their spouse's name, call their children's names? What's going to happen then? Then you'll be where you don't want to be, and that's really absolutely alone.
That's where I'm at now, Montel. That's where I'm at now.
But you still have the chance to walk in the front door whenever you choose to, so you're not really alone. Go away. It's over. We're almost done. So I want to thank all my guests for being here. Carol, you ought to listen to this advice, because this is advice that can save your family and keep you from being where you want to be, where you don't want to be, and that's alone. The four of you, no, really, the two of you, when the show is over, I want you to go backstage and spend some time with Dr. Derby. I'm not going to say, normally I say to people, I'll get you some help in your hometown, I'll find somebody to sit down and talk to you, but I think it will be a waste of my time and yours because you won't do it. So the bottom line is, what I will do for you, if you contact me for legal advice on how to settle this issue, I will make sure we provide that to you, but that's what you need to do. And I'm not going to pay for your divorce or your divorce. It's time for the two of you to stop calling on mom and mom to solve your problems. You're adults, you lay down, you have the babies, it's time for you to settle it yourself, and do so. Do so. We'll take a break. Maybe you can help them come to some conclusion. Join us on the next Montel Williams Show.